Some places are not built to protect the living, but to imprison something that should never escape. Places where the walls remember every scream, and the ground refuses to forget the dead beneath it. Tonight's story is not about coincidence, nor bad luck, but about a house that feeds on human suffering. A house where every owner believed they would survive, until the house decided otherwise. This is Willows Weep House, the house that cries quietly while counting its victims. In the state of Indiana, an old house was built in 1890 on land soaked with forgotten blood. The land once belonged to Native Americans who fought, died, and were buried without peace. The house was built by a man named J.C. Sykes, whose true intentions were never clearly understood. From above, the house's strange design resembled an inverted cross, unsettling anyone who noticed it. J.C. lived there with his wife Elizabeth and their son Anwell, believing evil existed only in stories. For years, nothing happened, as if the house was patiently observing its new occupants. One morning, J.C. went outside to feed his pigs and never returned. He slipped inside the pen, surrounded by nearly 200 starving animals. No one heard his screams as the pigs attacked, tearing into his body while he was still alive. Elizabeth later discovered what remained of her husband scattered among blood, bones, and mud. The horror shattered her mind instantly, leaving her incapable of returning to normal life. She was committed to a mental institution, broken beyond repair by what she witnessed. The house was inherited by their son Anwell after the tragedy. Anwell did not live long, dying suddenly from a massive brain hemorrhage without warning. 3 lives were destroyed inside the same walls, each death more disturbing than the last. Locals began whispering that the house demanded payment from anyone who lived there. Ownership became a death sentence rather than a blessing. The house did not rush. It waited calmly for its next victim. What people called coincidence began forming a terrifying pattern. And the house was far from finished. Decades passed, owners changed, but death remained the only permanent resident of the house. In the 1940s, a strange woman moved in with her children, unsettling everyone around her. She married 3 different men over time, and every one of them died mysteriously. No crimes were proven, and no explanations satisfied the authorities or the neighbors. Her teenage son suddenly hanged himself without leaving any note or warning signs. Her young daughter vanished completely, leaving behind no body, no evidence, and no answers. It was as if the house swallowed the child whole and erased her existence. Another secret was sealed beneath the floors and walls. Years later, the Skinner family purchased the house despite its disturbing reputation. The mother died from a sudden heart attack not long after moving in. The father survived for years, only to end his own life with a gun. Once again, the house claimed another family. Strange noises began intensifying inside the structure. Footsteps echoed through empty rooms late at night. Loud knocks came from beneath the floor, as if something was trapped below. Neighbors avoided the property, especially after sunset. The house no longer felt empty, it felt aware. Every death seemed to strengthen whatever lived there. The walls absorbed fear like a living organism. The pattern was undeniable. No one stayed without paying a price. The house remembered everyone who entered, and it never let them leave untouched. Something ancient had rooted itself deep within the land, and it was waiting patiently. In 2010, a woman named Brenda bought the house, unaware she had stepped into a nightmare. She loved the house immediately and began renovating it with her son. During repairs, part of the ceiling collapsed, nearly killing her child. It was the house's first clear warning. A contractor later discovered a human bone buried beneath the floorboards. Forensic analysis confirmed it belonged to a young child. The past had finally surfaced. Soon after, deep scratches began appearing on Brenda's body. 6 long marks, resembling claws, formed overnight. They appeared in places she could not physically reach. Sleep became impossible as fear consumed her mind. The noises grew louder, more aggressive, and constant. Heavy pounding came from beneath the ground during the night. Brenda felt watched, followed, and slowly hunted. One question haunted her every waking moment. Was she next? Would the house take her too? She tried to stay strong but failed. Eventually, she fled the house in terror. She survived, but only by leaving everything behind. The house remained unchanged and silent, but it did not forgive her escape, because Willows Weep never forgets those who enter, and it never truly releases them. Paranormal investigators eventually arrived, determined to confront the house's dark reputation. During their first visit, they experienced intense dizziness, headaches, and overwhelming fear. They were forced to leave almost immediately, all except one man. His name was David Spinks. David purchased the house and chose to live inside it. He claimed the house was a living entity feeding on fear and trauma. He documented his experiences in a book and a short documentary film. Families of the victims accused him of exploiting their tragedies for fame. The truth remains debated to this day, but bones do not lie. History does not lie, and patterns of death do not lie. The house still stands, silent and waiting, watching anyone who dares to approach, measuring their fear, testing their courage, deciding their fate. Willows Weep does not rush. It is patient, it is hungry, and it always chooses carefully, one soul at a time, until nothing remains